mean, hell, MLK and that little fruit rustin', they weren't the driving force behind your little handout package. It was the Dems and LBJ especially. Hell, old MLK smeggy ass even admitted he should have focused on jobs instead of acceptance, which is why he got booed on the West Coast. No one gave a rat's ass about that clown out here until they made that damn holiday. And I get tired of these buffoons who feel the need to rattle on about long dead empires that had nothing to do with them, bitching to whites and seeking acceptance from non-blacks. Most of these people are outcasts from the Negwad community. You know the type. Dropouts, ex-cons, isolated college nerds, boring coons that flock to career activism on the net. For the gap-toothed, musty black chicks that yell about the movement wearing dreads and talking about Sankofa and shit. Got the little RBG with a picture of Africa on the page wearing dashikis and crap. And these guys are failures. They're just failures. I'll show people that work these idiots on air. They crack up laughing at these drug-addled retards trying desperately to articulate the history of the Olmecs from their mom's living room in stained wife beaters, or some silly mulatto yelling in their dirty room with large print books they've probably never read, sounding like incompetent jackasses. They go around debating other morons about things that don't even matter to the Negwad community, even though they're a supposed revolutionary, and they won't change a goddamn thing. These broke-ass fools, they yell revolution till the cows come home, but it's funny that they don't realize they've already lost. See, they've been conditioned, and are so goddamn complacent that they aren't even able to articulate what the problem is, let alone attack it. They have no concept of the elite's agenda. They're too stupid to realize that the civil rights movement was simply to get them to relinquish their voting power, which is essentially gone now because the whites knew that this was becoming a global economy. You see, Japan and Germany were exporting powers again. China was coming into its own around that time, and outsourcing had just begun, with companies like Levi's shipping their jobs off to places like Guam and Costa Rica. By the 80s, the economic reforms in China were in full effect, and immigrants from war-torn countries in Asia were joining established Asian American networks and carving out financial dynasties in America. For instance, the Indians, who would have amounted to nothing in their own country, amassed fortunes and gained education, which led to India's ascent to power. Well, sorta. They got nukes. And then, the beaners, they're coming here, especially the Mexicans, to dominate the trades. They fill jobs and get their professionals to come into management positions and lock you coons out. The Filipinos do the same thing. But you're too busy bitching about being Asiatic Moors with Turkish titles and Canaanite prefixes in your made-up new Afrocentric names to understand how you've essentially castrated yourselves and isolated yourselves. You hold absolutely no power, and you're not gaining anything. You still have an unemployment rate that's 50% higher than everyone else. You don't realize this. Everyone else. And you have the system there. The thing is, a lot of these losers, they want to go around yelling, I don't want to appear racist and sell out, or I don't want to appear like I'm trying to distance myself. Blacks have their own damn schools, and some of them are accredited. Some of them are good schools. Blacks really don't have to go to any white school. They don't need to depend on whites in America. You could become completely independent. It's not about just completely isolating yourself, but as far as developing who you are, you don't have to go around and bitch and moan trying to get into their schools. You could go to your own school, get your undergrad, and then go somewhere like Harvard. But all this because in reality, if somebody goes to CUNY as opposed to NYU, even if CUNY is a shitty school in comparison, if that guy gets 700 on the GMAT and goes to Harvard Business School, his MBA is going to look a lot better than the dude who did the whole ride. Damn. Oh, so whatever. Oh, MBA from. Oh, hey. Bam, you're in. NYU. Oh, you go to Harvard. Well, you got an MBA from. But they're not, it's not as impressive. So, you niggawads need to understand that you have more power than you realize. You don't need to run around pretending to be a fucking Moor. It's stupid. And then you isolate yourselves from the successful blacks called sellout niggas. See, the reality is there's only a struggle with you losers inside of yourselves. You're essentially your own worst enemies. Those stupid niggas from the South, they died for nothing. LBJ got your rights reinforced to get your votes. Because he knew the whites from the Eastern Bloc were coming. He knew the Asians were coming. He knew about the Western powers consolidating power to create new markets and open up trades and shitholes that had been untapped for decades. The nigwads, by and large, got left in the dust. A couple of them picked up the crumbs and became millionaires, but most of them left in the dust. To where when the whites fell off, you fell off because you're completely dependent upon them for success. The black elite doesn't care because they know you're a bunch of dumbasses, which is why as soon as red zoning stopped, they got the hell away from you. Oh man, you half-ass jacket dandies really believe that any of these hoe cakes yelling about revolution and all that crap, whether they're in the Nation of Islam or the Nubians or any of those dumbass things, you really think they're gonna die for the cause? As a matter of fact, what in the hell is the cause? You losers have no idea why you read this crap. I don't even think you know who you are, but I do. You're failures, too socially inept and mentally deficient to go out and make the change you think you want to see. As a matter of fact, you revel in failure. You're afraid to succeed. You remind me of those people who marry a cripple and dump him when the person gets better. You feed on your own weakness to coax your fragile egos and your shallow sense of self. You're all nobodies. I essentially created this page originally just to clown the shit out of you losers. You need to stop telling these kids in college with futures to join your stupid ass groups. You aren't Moors. Real Moors are white Berbers from North Africa. And you're not Egyptians. You're not from Mu. It doesn't and never has existed. It was made up by a science fiction writer. You're not Israelites either. The real Israelites are Canaan goat lord worshippers, to whom they used to sacrifice babies. But now those babies just grow up to be gay from having overbearing Jew mothers. That's a whole different topic. In the end, you outcasts are, were, and always will be manipulated shit, spouting dogma for the elite. To those who may not be a threat before their minds develop. And you don't even realize that you're just a tool. Another cog in the machine. The Illuminati, the hidden cabal, whatever you want to call it. You're just a cog, a pawn for them. Manipulating your own kind and destroying your own communities. You're a shame. You're a disgrace. And a failure. You fucking bitches. Bitch.